Today we're taking a look at the Manfrotto Pixi Evo 2 mini travel tripod. I love a good mini travel tripod. I use my little Gitzo one quite a lot, but this is a newer model by Manfrotto, which is actually a really interesting proposition. It only weighs 260 grams, which is super light and really easy to pack in your bag and forget about, which is excellent. It has a maximum height of 20 centimeters, which is also the height it is when it's folded closed. And it has a nice, simple design. You've got a ball head here, which is aluminium, which fits with the aluminium legs, which have plastic covers. You have a very simple dial on the side, which allows you to tighten the ball head. And you also get an adjustment on this tripod, which allows you to change the angle of the legs so it sits more flat and provides a more stable platform for your camera. In addition to this, you're actually able to extend the legs. Each of them have 5 clicks, which just gives you a little bit of additional height, or if you're using that flatter mode, you actually can have a even more stable platform than before. It is expensive at that £63 price point, but at £40, I can kind of convince myself that this is something a lot of photographers could do with. It actually has a maximum payload weight of 2.5 kilograms. And despite this, they kind of tout it as perfect for entry-level DSLRs. But actually, I think this is a lot more capable than Manfrotto is perhaps letting on their website. You see, I have here the Nikon 70-200 2.8S mounted on the Nikon Z6 II. This is a heavy combination. It weighs around 2 kilograms, so we're nearing the maximum payload for this, this tripod. Now, if I mount it on the ball head using the really nice large adjustment on the bottom to hold the camera in place, it actually does an excellent job here. It's relatively stable. Yes, I've used the tripod foot because that gives us a better balance of the weight of the camera and lens, but you do that on any tripod. And actually, you know what? This is a stable platform. And I was trying to think, how do I show you how stable it is? Well, if I have the camera mounted here and we lock that in place, I can actually shoot myself with the video from the monitor on this camera. And what I want to show you is this. So if we start the recording, it's nice and stable and it's going to shoot a decent video. It's not moving around very much. But this is a heavy combination of camera and lens. If you touch this camera anyway, it is going to move around a fair bit, even on this tripod. At the end of the day, we're pushing the limits of what this tripod's designed to do. But because this camera has in-body image stabilization, like so many mirrorless cameras these days, and the lens has also image stabilization built in, or VR as Nikon calls it, you kind of have this weird situation where I can tap this camera quite heavily, and there is a lot of movement. Like this would make me uncomfortable to use it, take a photo with. You actually kept really stable video despite that. So I'm really happy with the fact that this camera is capable of taking solid video on this tripod despite its relatively large amount of movement. But this is an extreme example. The majority of people are going to be using this with more entry-level mirrorless cameras or standard lenses, something like the 70-200 f4 on the DSLR, or indeed the 70-300 or the 55-250 mirrorless lenses, right? Much lighter lenses, or indeed wide angles that tend not to weigh so much. And with that kind of combination, this really is an excellent tripod. To show what I mean, I have here the Nikon Z50 and the 50-250. Let's just get that one mounted quickly. And suddenly we have a lot less flex. This is a much happier combination and perhaps a little bit more realistic. Again, if we extend it, I think that is a very usable tripod. Now, the adjustment levels on the ball head are really good. Because you have a screw adjustment, you can actually give yourself a little bit of movement where the camera still doesn't move if you make it a bit tighter like this, so you can actually move it in any direction, which is great. You have that extra height if you want it, which again gives you a bit of flexibility. This is very much... Okay, we have a cat. I might just gently get out of the way. So this mini tripod is very much designed for those people that want to throw a tripod in their bag, have one at all times, don't want to rest their camera on a jumper on the floor, or indeed, try and mount, pop the camera on a wall in order to get a photograph. This is a step up from that, and I think at that £45 price mark, £40 price mark, it's really good value. I like the fact that the actual locking mechanism here is really easy to use. It's not fiddly, you can be pretty quick at it. The platform is really stable. And the last feature I wanted to highlight was there's actually a cutout in the ball head over here, which allows you to actually mount your camera at a 90-degree angle. Now, that's not terribly useful for DSLRs unless you're shooting straight up into the sky, but it is useful if you're mounting a smartphone in order to take portrait video. So they've even thought of that on this, and I think it's a nice addition. Overall then, I'm very happy with the Manfrotto Pixi Evo 2. It finds its way into my bag a lot. It's lighter than my Gitzo carbon fibre version due to its heavier ball head, and as a result, it's an excellent little mini tripod to have around. So I hope you found this little review useful. If you have any questions about it, pop them in the comment section below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so you don't miss out on future episodes. Hope I see you in the next one. Goodbye. Do you like the tripod too, Luna?